The Gong Show and Japan Today present movie reviews for films opening this weekend. If you're in Japan thinking about a movie this coming weekend, or if you're in another country thinking about renting a DVD, you'll want to listen to this as we have some very critical reviews by Metropolis film critic Don Morton. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing well.
Let's get right to the movies. What will you be reviewing this week?
A movie called Runner, Last Days on Mars, Damnation, Open Windows, and Interstellar.
Let's get right to the reviews, starting with Runner. See it, miss it?
Miss it. Ivy League kid, played by Justin Timberlake, gambles away all his education money on online poker. So, this being a movie, he doesn't just go back home. No, he flies to Costa Rica to confront the dangerous online poker mogul and get his money back. Well, he does get his money back, as well as a lucrative job with a guy and a girl, played by Gemma Arterton. Then he realizes he's in a little bit too deep. If this sounds a little bit familiar, it's probably because you've already seen The Firm, which this is blatantly ripping off. It gets worse. The mogul is played by Ben Affleck, who's proved to be a very good director, but he's acting in this like he did a decade ago, which is badly. Zero suspense, rushed in, and pointless.
You say he gets the girl.
That's what I said.
On a scale of 1 to 10, this girl is?
10. She's the love interest in a suspense movie.
All right. Let's move on to the next movie opening in Japan this week. It's called The Last Days on Mars.
I don't know why people keep making movies about Mars, because they rarely succeed. In this one, a group of scientists is looking for life on Mars. And, well, golly, they find it. With 19 hours left in their 6-month mission on Mars, they find life. Unfortunately, it's a DNA type of strand that turns everything it touches into a space zombie.
No.
Lots of fighting in space suits and helmets, which makes it really hard to tell who's fighting who or to care who wins. It's the real mystery is, what is Liv Schreiber doing in this movie? For that matter, Elias Koteas or Olivia Williams. And also, this was shown at Cannes. It was booed. People didn't understand why it got in there. There's no life here in this movie.
No life on Mars?
No, and no entertainment value either.
Out of this world? Spacey?
Spacey.
Date movie?
No.
Soundtrack?
I don't remember the soundtrack.
All right. Next movie seems like it might be for political activists.
Damnation is notable mainly because it was funded by the Patagonia outdoor clothing chain for showing in its stores. And its main message is that Native Americans and spawning salmon would be a lot happier if they hadn't built tens of thousands of dams in America in the last century. It's gorgeous to look at, and it's like something you'd see in an outdoor clothing store. But whom is it arguing? There's really nobody that likes dams or hates salmon or Native Americans. So there's a general lack of focus and political balance.
If you were going to take a friend to this movie, would you take a Republican or a Democrat?
Where do you get these questions? I'd take whichever one was wearing Patagonia clothing.
Moving on to the next movie. It's called Open Windows. Is this a movie about suicide, jumpers?
No, it's about open computer windows. The desktop kind. It's inventive. It's gleefully manipulative. It's a techno thriller. It's about a nerdy blogger played by Elijah Wood who's won a dinner date with his actress, object of his fanboy obsession. And then this menacing voice appears on his computer and starts showing him things and telling him what to do and manipulating him. It's quite interesting in the fact that the entire movie takes place on a computer screen using Skype, cell phone footage, security cams, and stuff like that.
Sounds creative.
It is. It's very creative. But after a while, it gets a little bit gimmicky as the clever plot twists pile up. It becomes unsustainable, and I find it difficult to maintain the desire to keep up.
Is this a movie for geeks?
Anybody that spends a lot of time staring at a computer screen.
Just wondering here, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you impersonate the menacing voice on the computer?
Well, it's got an English accent, and it's very persuasive and powerful. Do it now.
Moving on to our final film for this week. It's one I'm looking very forward to. It's titled Interstellar. Believable?
Well, it's a science fiction movie, but the science is viable, so that makes the fiction more believable. It's about a Earth that is doomed.
Is that because of the dams you were talking about before?
No, it's because of the ecology. We haven't done well with the ecology. It's a near-future film. Matthew McConaughey plays a former NASA pilot who is tapped to fly a spacecraft through a wormhole to seek a new home for humanity. The downside is he has to leave his beloved daughter behind. And the thing about this movie that makes it so good is that he manages to effectively balance the spectacle with the emotion, the cosmic and the intimate. Call it science with a soul.
Science with a soul. I like that.
This movie will stretch your mind. Big screen, please. The bigger, the better.
Any hallucinogenic moments, as in 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Well, I'm not going to tell you, am I?
So you are recommending this movie then?
Absolutely. And go see it in the theater on a big screen with the best sound system possible. This is not a movie to rent at home.
Date movie.
Certainly.
Don Morton from Metropolis Magazine. Thank you very much.
Pleasure's mine.
You've been listening to Movie Reviews here on The Kong Show on the Japan Today website.